Welcome to the Bitcoin Jones channel. Today I'm listing the top 10 things I wish I'd known before jumping into crypto. And as always, this is not financial advice, so do your research and make sure this is right for you. Deciding to get into cryptocurrency is a big thing for some people. It was for me, but since then my life has completely changed. My mind has been changed about a lot of things such as ways to make money, how the monetary system works, the economics of it, etc, etc. I've also learned to question everything, and I don't say that lightly, I do mean everything. Now the number one thing for me was how easy it actually was to get involved with crypto. I've not been involved in the space for that long. I got my first Satoshi back in late 2019, and before that I'd always wanted to get involved in the space but never really knew how to do it. I'd always assumed it was for those who had a really intricate grasp of computer knowledge, were programmers, or were affiliated with the seedy underbelly of the whole cryptocurrency thing. But boy, was I wrong. So wrong. All you really need is time. Well, actually you need a computer or a smartphone, but I think really that time is the crucial ingredient here. Most of my time spent within the space isn't actually doing things with my crypto or spending it or staking it or whatever, it's learning. You can have the best high-spec laptop or the latest and greatest smartphone with a squillion megapixel camera with a Bluetooth kettle attached to it. That still doesn't account for the fact that you need to know how to use it effectively and choose the right platforms and procedures with it. I'll talk about my knowledge in a moment, but to round up this point, you could have a 6-year-old laptop with a 2 meg download internet speed, which I have, or you could have a 3-year-old smartphone, which I also have. But what I have on most other people is that I want to invest time into this, and I have a passion to learn everything I can about it. Now, here's the caveat. This doesn't just mean sitting on YouTube and watching endless hours of Bitcoin Jones videos, although it's highly recommended. I do mean time invested in trying out different apps and platforms, learning about what one does better than the other and why Coinbase is better than BRD and why Crypto.com isn't necessarily the best app, but learning the things it has over the others. So to round up this point, it's actually really easy to get into crypto. It just comes at a steep learning curve, which brings me to my second point. Not everyone is out to scam you. We'll touch upon scammers in my next point, but I have to say that ever since being involved in the crypto sphere, I've met, conversed with, and shared ideas with a lot of great people. It's really important to surround yourself with people that are also in the same boat as you, or that genuinely want to help you out. Not that there's a check sheet of things that someone needs to be trustworthy, that's kind of up to you to decide, but I'll speak briefly about my experience. I watched a lot of varied channels before making my own, and I would come across some YouTubers that seemed more approachable than others. My case in point, Big K Crypto. I followed his channel for a while and realised that yes, at some points he was promoting platforms that was in his best interest to do so, but he was also trying to help out the community in other ways by providing instructional videos, how-tos, and other cool things such as core number compounding. He would also reply to my comments, he was reachable by Telegram and inviting to me. He even helped me launch my YouTube channel, so to me, he was a very trustworthy guy, and through him, I've made a bunch of contacts and associates. And the amount I've learned through all these contacts has been more than I could ever pay for. And that's the best thing, it was all free. This is also the reason that I try to answer every comment on my videos, each email I get, every DM on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and every message on Telegram, because I've learned that to earn the trust of your subscribers, it takes a lot of time and effort. But I know that once I start reaching new heights with my channel, it's going to be harder and harder to reply to all the DMs, but I'll certainly try, because I really want to be known as one of the trustworthy guys in crypto. But not everyone is trustworthy. Case in point, point number 3. There are people out there that want to scam you. I know I just made a long point about being open and trusting to some people, but you have to have your guard up because sadly, for every nice and honest person in the space, there are probably 10 scammers out there. So you have to stay vigilant, and I mention this in every video in the intro, do your research. I don't say it to be a catchphrase, it's important. Very important. If somebody asks you to send them Bitcoin or any other crypto, please don't. The only times you should really do this is if you're paying for a service or getting involved in a platform. Even then, you still need to be wary. Crypto is not like spending money on a credit card. You can't just call up Coinbase and say, I sent 2 Bitcoin to a random person who promised me he'd send me 4 Bitcoin back. They'll turn around and say, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. If you've been scammed out of money, don't beat yourself up about it. It's a lesson learned, and I hope you won't do it again. Being scammed doesn't mean you're dumb, it just means that somebody else out there was horrid enough to take advantage of you. It's on them, not you. Point number 4, and it's been touched upon, but I think it's an important one as it has its own section in this video, and it's that knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have about what you're doing, the easier it will be for you to be successful in the cryptocurrency space. Does this mean you need to go out and spend 48 hours straight on YouTube trying to find out what the Binance Smart Chain is, how to stake on a BNB lit LP and earn cake? No, it doesn't, unless you really want to know how to provide liquidity to earn cake. What I mean is, learn about the things you really need. If you just want to purchase Bitcoin and be able to use a non-custodial wallet, then why would you put your time, effort and money into cake tokens? Knowledge is also gained through trial and error. Sadly, often trial and error can lead to losing some money in the process, but I tell you what, you won't make that mistake again. Hopefully. Now, I touched on a few things in that point which probably has a few of you scratching your head. What the hell is cake, and why are we talking about baking when this video is about cryptocurrency? But this all leads to point number 5. Know the reasons you want to be involved. If you want to invest in Bitcoin because you believe that this currency will hold major value in a few years' time and will seriously disrupt the centralized banking industry, then you don't need to know about anything I mentioned about cake, the Binance Smart Chain, or liquidity pools. So you don't need to worry that you're missing out on that because it's not what brought you to the game, is it? On the flip side, if you coming into crypto was based purely out of making money, and that's totally fine, then you might need to see what other opportunities there are out there. I lie somewhere between the two options here. I both want to make gains, but I also believe in the ethos of Bitcoin and what cryptocurrency will do in the coming years. I actually tried to get involved with the BSC and cake and stuff, and guess what happened to me? I halved my money, and as much as I enjoyed playing around with cake and sushi and auto and BNB, it just wasn't going where I wanted it to go, so I cut my losses and invested the remaining half in a project that I 100% believe in. So to piggyback off that last point, number 6, stay up to date with the things you're interested in. The world of crypto moves lightning fast, and it's impossible to stay up to date with all the latest platforms, altcoins and smart chains. So why would you spend hours learning all about these low cap altcoins that have potential if you're not really interested in that low cap altcoin and what its utility is? If you hold something like Uniswap or Polkadot or Cardano, then surely it's better for you to invest your time learning everything you can about them. What the latest news is, what their functions they serve. It seems simple enough, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. Take Cardano, or ADA for example. I had my eye on that coin for quite some time, and I was looking to move some funds into it when I felt the time was right. Whilst I was waiting for that time, these new shiny coins came along that had a lot of buzz around them online, so instead of doing the simple thing and sticking to my plan, I then reallocated the ADA funds into 2 other coins that were the hot topic at the time. You can guess what happened next, right? That's it. ADA skyrocketed and went up like 20%, and the coins I held went down. But I guess that goes back to points 4 and 5 of this video, knowledge and reason. I had them both, but I just got caught up in the next big thing. Number 7, cryptocurrency is volatile. That's it. That's the point. I really wish I'd known this back in 2019. However, for me, I quite enjoy the volatility of it. It's interesting and new and feels exciting, but if that's not your game, maybe try putting your life savings into a 2% yearly savings account. Not financial advice. I guess in the grand scheme of things, the point really goes nicely with the 5th point. If you're in Bitcoin because you believe in it, then the volatile is irrelevant because at the end of the day, 1 Bitcoin will always be 1 Bitcoin. You're just simply tracking its value. The 8th thing I wish I'd known about was it's very easy to lose money. Now don't get me wrong, it's also quite easy to make money too, especially right now as we're in a bull market and things are looking very good for crypto in general. But that doesn't mean that you can't lose money. I think the number 1 reason that people lose money is fear. I've experienced this as well. Folks often joke about the stock market is really easy, you just buy low and sell high, and while that is sound logic, it's almost impossible to know exactly when the lows are and when the highs are. If it was that simple, then the stock market would be crazy and everyone and their grands would be making money left, right and centre. But if it's that easy, then why do some people lose money? It's being fearful and unsure. I'll take Bitcoin here for example. I've seen so many people go into Bitcoin because it's the latest trending topic on Twitter, and then at the first sign of a dip they sell everything because it's losing value. So in fact what they did there was they actually bought high and sold low. Now they're not to blame for this, well they are, but that's what happens when you follow the crowd and don't do your own research and just panic. Now, no way am I saying that Bitcoin will just go up forever and ever, but from the research that I've done, I know that selling all of my Bitcoin at the sight of a small correction is not the way to go. In fact, I'm the opposite. I invest more in the dip, but I won't do that forever because I have a plan and, moving swiftly on to point number 9, I'm not frightened to take profits. I know it feels like an alien concept sometimes, and others talk about taking profits like it's offending the honour of their favourite dead pet, but guess what? You're allowed to take profits, guys. It's a thing, believe me, I've done it. I'm not saying as soon as your investment becomes the slightest bit green, then it's time to sell everything and move to a small island off the coast of Costa Rica. I mean, if you're up a couple of $100, you always have the option to sell a bit and pay for the rent or buy a new pair of socks or something. Okay, we've reached number 10. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. Number 10 is as important as all the other ones, but it's a point that can be overlooked, and it's to ask questions. Don't be alone in this crazy crypto space because it's vast, wide, and an open space which can feel like you're being sucked into a vacuum and bombarded with information, but everyone was once in your position. Even though I'm now a superstar YouTuber that has literally millions of seconds watched on his channel, I was once a noob too, and I didn't know the difference between KYC and KFC, or what private keys are, or even who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Well, technically nobody knows that, but you get the idea. The point is you become better with time, experience, and knowledge, but that doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Ask questions. I mean, I'm usually brutally honest to people that if I don't know the answer, I will say, and that's fine too. I don't claim to know everything, but if it's something that I should know and want to know, I'll figure it out. Alright, that's the video, and these are strictly my thoughts and opinions, and yours may differ too, and I encourage each and everyone to tell me what your top 10 list would be before entering the crypto space. Leave them down below, and let's talk about what we know and what we don't know, and help our fellow humanoids out a bit. Hey? If you found today's video helpful in any way, you can leave a like. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've just crossed the 1,000 subscriber threshold, so let's set our sights on the next goal. 2,000, let's go, baby! Alright, I'll see you next time.